Welcome to the Indoraptor prototype channel. Today, we're doing something crazy. We're releasing all 96 terrestrial dinosaurs into the wild. T-Rex, Spinosaurus, raptors, and so many more will roam free in one massive park. Will they live in harmony, or will chaos take over? Stick around to find out. Yutyrannus is a carnivorous dinosaur from the Tyrannosauroid family, a distant relative of the fearsome Tyrannosaurus Rex that is notable for the long feathers on its body and tail. In fact, at around 9 meters in length, this genus is the largest carnivorous dinosaur known to have feathers, lending it the name Yutyrannus, which translates to feathered tyrant. At around 12 meters in length and more than 6 tons in weight, Acrocanthosaurus is one of the largest theropods. This carnivorous dinosaur gets its name, which translates to high-spined lizard, from the elongated spines running the length of its neck and back, while its sharp teeth and powerful jaw make it a fearsome predator comparable to the much more well-known Tyrannosaurus Rex. Alamosaurus is one of the largest dinosaurs known to have existed, with adults growing to a length of 20 to 25 meters and weighing up to 80 tons. Native to North America during the late Cretaceous period, Alamosaurus is an herbivorous sauropod with armored spikes on its back that protect it from predator attacks. Velociraptor's reputation as one of the most terrifying dinosaurs comes not from its size. At just 4 meters in length, it is dwarfed by many less intimidating genera, but its ferocity and intelligence. With its large, sharp teeth and sickle-shaped claws, Velociraptor is a highly efficient predator, preying upon Syntiosaurus and Dryosaurus among others, although its relative lack of power means it is unlikely to attack large or armored dinosaurs. The most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus Rex enjoys a fearsome reputation around the world thanks to its size, power, and aggression, a status borne out by its name, which translates to King of the Tyrant Lizards. At around 13.5 meters in length and over 8 tons in weight, Tyrannosaurus Rex was the apex predator of its time, with the most powerful jaw known to science and rows of large serrated teeth. Allosaurus is one of the most fearsome dinosaurs ever to have roamed the Earth, weighing up to 2 tons and measuring around 12 meters in length. The apex predator of the late Jurassic period, Allosaurus's enormous skull contains rows of large serrated teeth for tearing flesh, while its long, powerful tail helps it to balance. Werchosaurus is a large plant-eating dinosaur from the Stegosaurid family, and first existed during the early Cretaceous period in Asia. Werchosaurus can grow to more than 8 meters in length and weighs in excess of 4 tons, partly due to the thick, bony plates that protect its body from predators. And it also has a spiked tail that help it to defend itself when under attack. A relative of the infamous Tyrannosaurus Rex, Albertosaurus is a carnivorous theropod from the late Cretaceous period. Believed to have been the apex predator of its time, Albertosaurus's rows of razor-sharp teeth make light work of the smaller, herbivorous dinosaurs it preys on, while its sheer size, approximately 9.5 meters long and weighing around 4 tons, ensure other predators steer clear. As you might have guessed from the name, The theropod dinosaur Utahraptor first lived in the Utah region of the western United States during the early Cretaceous period. 5 meters long and weighing around 300 kilograms, Utahraptor is one of the biggest and slowest genera in the Dromaeosauridae family. Unable to outrun most smaller dinosaurs, this genus relies on its sickle claws and a powerful bite to ambush its prey. Notable for its distinctive duck-billed snout and striking head crest, Spinosaurus is an herbivorous hadrosaurid that can grow up to 10 meters in length and weigh in excess of 3 tons. Despite its relatively large size, Spinosaurus was capable of walking on 4 legs or 2 and could reach high speeds when fleeing from predators. Its name comes from the location of its discovery, Qingdao in China. Amargasaurus is named after the site of its discovery, La Amarga Formation in Argentina, and is an herbivorous dinosaur of the Dicraeosauridae family, weighing around 2.9 tons and spanning 9.5 meters in length. Its long neck and sharp teeth allow it to eat tough vegetation from trees, while the 2 rows of long spines on its neck and back help Amargasaurus to defend itself from predators. An important characteristic given that this dinosaur has poor hearing and is unable to move at high speeds. The herbivorous dinosaur Triceratops is one of the largest ceratopsidae, at around 9 meters in length and weighing 12 tons. Notable for its large frill and the 3 horns on its head, which give rise to its name, which translates to three-horned face. Triceratops' diet consists mainly of ground-level vegetation, although their size may have enabled them to knock over larger plants and trees to feed on. Famed for its clubbed tail and the armor plates that cover its back, Ankylosaurus is a genus of Ankylosaurus that lived around 70 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. Ankylosaurus's protective osteoderms and robust build. The average specimen weighs 8 tons and is 9.6 meters in length. Defend it from predators such as Tyrannosaurus Rex, while its large stomach digested up to 60 kilograms of ferns and shrubs every day. Troodon is a small, meat-eating dinosaur of the Troodon genus, with long, thin legs that enable it to reach high speeds when chasing prey. Its name is Greek for wounding tooth, in reference to its sharp incisors, while this theropod's large eyes allow it to hunt in the dark. Troodon's large brain for its size, it stands at just over 3 feet tall, makes it one of the most intelligent dinosaurs. The giant herbivorous sauropod Ankylodocus is a genetically engineered hybrid dinosaur that combines the base genomes of Ankylosaur and Diplodocus. Its appearance borrows notable characteristics from each of its parent genera. Its long neck strongly resembles Diplodocus, while it takes the protective spikes on its body from Ankylosaurus. Therizinosaurus is a genus of herbivorous dinosaur from the Therizinosauridae family that lived in Asia during the late Cretaceous period and can grow to a weight of more than 4,000 kilograms. This genus's name translates to scythe lizard. In reference to its large claws at over 50 centimeters, Therizinosaurus is believed to have had the longest claws of any animal in existence. Atrociraptor is a carnivorous dinosaur from the Dromaeosauridae family and dates back to the late Cretaceous period. The name Atrociraptor translates from Latin as savage Caesar, in reference to the rows of serrated teeth it uses to catch and kill prey, such as lizards and small mammals. This genus is one of InGen's designer dinosaurs and exists in a variety of colors. It grows to around 4 meters in length and has been bred to display great dexterity, high intelligence, and large, powerful claws, making it an extremely efficient hunter. Archaeornithomimus is a genus of bird-like theropod with a sharp beak and long hind legs. Its size, this dinosaur weighs between 100 and 200 pounds and reaches around 3.3 meters in length. And physical features led to its name, which translates to ancient bird mimic. Archaeornithomimus had an omnivorous diet consisting of everything from plants to eggs and even other juvenile dinosaurs. At over 20 meters in length and around 19 tons, Apatosaurus is one of the largest dinosaurs ever to have existed. This herbivorous sauropod has a long neck that allows it to feed on the leaves of tall trees as well as lower-hanging plants, while the tip of its tail can be whipped to produce a loud bang that scares off predators. Torosaurus is notable for having one of the largest skulls the world has ever seen, measuring up to 2.7 meters in length. Fossil remains have shown that the frill on its skull contained 2 large holes, lending the genus its name, which translates to perforated lizard. Torosaurus is an herbivorous dinosaur and can weigh up to 6 tons, requiring a huge amount of vegetation every day for sustenance. Like its more famous cousin Tyrannosaurus Rex, Tarbosaurus is a tyrannosaurid dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period and is native to Asia. In fact, many dinosaur experts believe it not to be its own genus, but an Asian species of Tyrannosaurus. Growing to around 11 meters in length and over 5 tons in weight, this terrifying apex predator has one of the most powerful jaws ever found in a dinosaur, as well as rows of large, sharp teeth. The large theropod Baryonyx can grow up to 10 meters in length and is notable for its crocodile-like jaws. Baryonyx is primarily a piscivore. Although it lives on land, it can grab fish out of rivers with its long claws and swim in shallow waters to catch prey with its long, serrated teeth. It is believed that Baryonyx is also a scavenger, feeding on the carcasses of smaller dinosaurs on land. The large carnivorous Spinosaurid Suchomimus is known for its unusual appearance. Although its body is similar to that of Baryonyx or Spinosaurus, its long snout bears a closer resemblance to a modern-day crocodile. In fact, the name Suchomimus translates to crocodile mimic. Suchomimus can weigh up to 2.5 tons and grow up to 9.5 meters in length, with large claws on its hand for catching and killing fish and small animals. Australovenator is a bipedal theropod from the late Cretaceous period. Its name translates to southern hunter, in reference to its Australian habitat and carnivorous diet. Australovenator's lightweight frame and serrated teeth are perfectly designed for stalking prey quickly and effectively. In fact, the paleontologist who discovered the genus described it as the cheetah of its time, due to its speed, agility, and predatory instincts. Brachiosaurus is a genus of herbivorous sauropod and one of the largest dinosaurs to have lived, weighing in at over 50 tons. Thanks to its long neck, Brachiosaurus can feed on leaves from trees up to 12 meters high, eating up to 400 kilograms of vegetation every day. While its vast size means any potential predators tend to steer clear. Giganotosaurus is a carnivorous theropod dinosaur that existed during the late Cretaceous period, around 95 to 100 million years ago. At around 15 meters in length, Giganotosaurus is one of the largest theropods and gets its name, which translates to jagged teeth lizard, from its teeth, which can grow up to 8 inches. At a weight of over 51 tons and measuring more than 18 meters in length, the Camarasaurus is one of the largest sauropods and is easily recognized thanks to its distinctive blunt nose. Camarasaurus is a herbivorous sauropod and is related to more well-known dinosaurs, including Diplodocus and Brachiosaurus. In fact, Camarasaurus is a more commonly found genus than its more famous relatives. Notable for the thick horns above its eyes, Carnotaurus is a theropod from the late Cretaceous period. Weighing around 2 tons and spanning 10 meters in length with 2 rows of long, sharp teeth, this carnivorous dinosaur was the apex predator of its era, and the combination of its unique horns and flesh-ripping teeth gave Carnotaurus its name, meaning meat-eating bull. At around 6 meters in length and just under 1 ton in weight, Ceratosaurus is an average-sized theropod from the late Jurassic period. This carnivore is best known for the large horn on its snout and 2 further horns above its eyes, which gave rise to its name. Ceratosaurus translates to horned lizard. The herbivore Chasmosaurus is a genus of ceratopsid dinosaur with a similar appearance to Triceratops, although it is significantly smaller than its more well-known relative. Chasmosaurus weighs around 1.5 tons and spans approximately 7.5 meters in length and is notable for the 3 horns on its face and large frill on its neck. Chungkingosaurus is an herbivorous dinosaur from the Stegosauria suborder and gets its name from the location of its discovery, Chongqing in Sichuan, China. At around 9 meters in length, Chungkingosaurus is one of the smaller Stegosauria, with distinctive spikes adorning its neck, back, and tail that help it to protect itself from predators. The small theropod Coelophysis is one of the earliest dinosaurs to have walked the Earth, dating back 190 to 225 million years to the Triassic period. Its name translates to hollow form, in reference to its hollow leg bones, which allow it to reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour thanks to its light frame. Coelophysis is a carnivore and uses its sharp teeth and talons to catch its prey. Notable for the large crest on its back, Concavinator is a carnivorous theropod that dates back around 130 million years to the early Cretaceous period. This genus can grow up to 6 meters in length and over 800 pounds in weight, with a long tail for maintaining balance and a pronounced triangular crest above its hips. Experts believe the crest may be used to regulate temperature or act as a display for attracting a mate. Compsognathus is one of the smallest theropods ever to have existed, at under 1 meter in length and weighing little over 2 kilograms, roughly the size of a chicken. Despite its small stature, Compsognathus is a carnivore, using its speed and agility to hunt down lizards, insects, and even other small dinosaurs. Compsognathus's name translates to pretty jaw, a reference to its long, narrow snout. Weighing around 7 tons and growing up to around 11 meters in length, Dinosaurus is the largest ornithomimosaur ever to have existed. This genus dates back approximately 70 million years to the late Cretaceous period, and its name translates as horrible hand, in reference to its large, powerful claws. Cryolophosaurus is one of the largest theropods ever to have existed, measuring around 7 meters in length and half a ton in weight. It was one of the first carnivorous dinosaurs, feeding on smaller dinosaurs and mammals. The name Cryolophosaurus, which translates to frozen crested lizard, is a reference to the striking crest on its head and the cold climate of its habitat, Antarctica. Named after the distinctive crest on the top of its head, Corythosaurus translates to helmet lizard. This herbivorous hadrosaurid lived around 75 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. Corythosaurus weighed around 4 tons and grew up to 10 meters in length, making it one of the largest hadrosaurids with a bill-shaped snout and thousands of small teeth for chewing through tough vegetation. Deinonychus is a genus of theropod that existed around 110 million years ago during the early Cretaceous period. Its name translates to terrible claw, a reference to the long, scything talon on the second toe of its hind feet, which Deinonychus uses to defend itself from predators and attack its prey. Deinonychus is a close relative of Velociraptor and can grow up to 3 meters in length. Crichtonsaurus is a genus of ankylosaurid that looks like its more famous relative Ankylosaurus, only much smaller. This dinosaur weighs around 500 kilograms and is approximately 7 meters in length. Named after the famous author Michael Crichton, the herbivorous Crichtonsaurus is notable for the thick plates on its back and powerful club on the end of its tail that protect it from larger predators. Dilophosaurus is a genus of large carnivorous theropod, averaging around 3 meters in length and 300 kilograms in weight. It gets its name, which translates to two-crested lizard, from the distinctive crests that sit atop its head, which are used to attract mates for reproduction. Dilophosaurus's slender build means it can move at high speeds, while its powerful jaw allows it to keep hold of prey as it struggles to escape. Although it has a sailed back similar to many dinosaurs, Dimetrodon is actually a primitive synapsid dating back to the early Permian period, around 290 million years ago, before the existence of even the earliest dinosaurs. The name Dimetrodon means 2 measures of teeth, in reference to this apex predator's razor-sharp teeth that it used to grab and tear flesh from its prey. Diplodocus is one of the biggest sauropods that has ever existed, at around 12 tons in weight and 24 meters in length. This gentle giant is a herbivore and uses its long neck to feed from tall trees. In fact, Diplodocus's teeth are strong enough to strip bark, as well as plants and shrubs at ground level, while its vast size discourages predators from attacking. At around 65 tons in weight and 19 meters in length, the titanosaurian sauropod Dreadnoughtus, which translates to fears nothing, is one of the largest dinosaurs that has ever lived. Despite its vast size and intimidating name, Dreadnoughtus is a herbivore, using its 11 meters long neck to reach leaves that other dinosaurs can't get to, while also feeding on ground-level vegetation. Dracorex, full name Dracorexis hogwartsia, is a herbivore from the Pachycephalosaur family and is notable for its large horns and ridged skull. In fact, this dinosaur's appearance gives a clue to its name. The English translation of Dracorex is Dragon King. Dracorex was approximately 3.5 meters in length and weighed in at over 1,300 pounds, with an armored skull that protected it from predators. At around 14 tons in weight and 15 meters in length, Giganotosaurus is one of the largest theropods ever to have lived. Its name translates to giant southern lizard, in reference to its large frame and its South American habitat. It has a similar appearance to the infamous Tyrannosaurus Rex, with rows of long, serrated teeth and a powerful jaw for tearing into its prey. Edmontosaurus is a genus of herbivorous hadrosaurid dinosaur, notable for its distinctive bill-shaped mouth. At 9 meters in length and over 3 tons in weight, Edmontosaurus is one of the largest hadrosaurids. But despite its bulky frame, it can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, allowing it to escape from predators. Gallimimus is a genus of theropod from the Ornithomimidae family. Although its name translates to chicken mimic, Gallimimus is the biggest of the ornithomimid dinosaurs, at around 450 kilograms and 4 meters in length. The name refers to its neck vertebrae, which are similar to those of chickens. Fast, agile, intelligent, and with excellent vision, Gallimimus is well adapted to evading predators and catching its own prey. Euoplocephalus is one of the largest Ankylosauridae at around 7 meters in length and weighing 2 tons, and feeds on ground-level plants with its tapered beak. It is best known for its clubbed tail, armor plates on its back, and horns at the base of its head, all of which help Euoplocephalus to protect itself from predators. In fact, the name Euoplocephalus translates to well-armored head. Dryosaurus is a genus of ornithopod dinosaur that lived during the late Jurassic period, around 140 to 155 million years ago. It weighs around 80 to 90 kilograms and can reach up to 5 meters in length, with strong legs for running at speed and a stiff tail for retaining balance, both key attributes for escaping predators. Its name translates to tree lizard, in reference to its preference for forest areas. Dating back around 65 to 70 million years during the late Cretaceous period, the fearsome Gigantoraptor is the largest dinosaur of the Oviraptorosaur family, growing to around 8 meters in length and weighing in at over 2 tons. Aside from its impressive size, Gigantoraptor is notable for its lack of teeth, although it has a strong jaw capable of shearing through large plants. Spinosaurus is a genus of herbivorous dinosaur notable for the large spines on its shoulders, which help to protect it from predators. In fact, its name translates to giant spined lizard. It is part of the Stegosaur family, weighing around 700 kilograms and growing up to 7.7 meters in length, with a strong jaw that helps it to chew the plants and shrubs it feeds on. Herrerasaurus is a small theropod, measuring around 4.5 meters in length and 200 kilograms in weight. It is one of the earliest known dinosaurs, dating back to the late Triassic period, with a light frame that allow it to run very quickly and large, jagged teeth that help it to latch onto prey. Herrerasaurus feeds on smaller herbivores. Notable for its distinctive flat skull, its name translates to even head, Homalocephal is a small, herbivorous dinosaur that grows to around 2.3 meters in length and around 45 kilograms in weight. This genus has excellent eyesight and long legs that help it to locate and escape predators, while its thick, flat skull and wide pelvis protect it from attack. At around 8.5 meters in length, Huayangosaurus resembles a smaller version of Stegosaurus, sharing the same distinctive backplates as its more renowned relative. Its name translates to Huayang lizard, in reference to the location of its discovery, the previous name of the Sichuan region of China. As well as the prominent armored plates on its back, Huayangosaurus has a spiked tail that helps it to defend itself from predators. Iguanodon is a genus of large herbivorous ornithopod, weighing around 3.2 tons and growing up to 8 meters long. This dinosaur's name translates to iguana tooth, as its teeth bear a strong resemblance to those of an iguana, broad and flat, to help them chew tough vegetation. Iguanodon's hands feature large spikes on the thumbs, which help it to protect itself from predators. Indominus Rex is unique in the dinosaur world in that it is a hybrid genus created by combining multiple existing genera, including Dinosuchus, Giganotosaurus, Carnotaurus, Velociraptor, and the infamous Tyrannosaurus Rex, as well as tree frogs and snakes. As such, Indominus Rex is perhaps the most fearsome dinosaur of all, boasting Giganotosaurus's size, Velociraptor's intelligence and speed, Tyrannosaurus Rex's power and aggression, plus further traits from tree frogs and cuttlefish that allow it to hide its thermal signature. Indoraptor is a hybrid dinosaur created from the DNA of numerous other genera, including Velociraptor, Dinosuchus, and the ferocious Indominus Rex. Famed for its high intelligence and aggressive nature, Indoraptor is known as one of the most dangerous dinosaurs in existence, with incredible speed, strength, and agility, excellent eyesight, and the ability to camouflage itself ahead of ambushing its prey. The stegosaurian Kentrosaurus is an herbivorous dinosaur that can grow up to 4 meters in length and weigh over 700 kilograms. Like many other stegosaurian dinosaurs, Kentrosaurus is well protected from predators, with armor plates that run the length of its back and a pair of spikes that jut out from its shoulders. It also has a long, spiked tail that helps it to fend off attackers. Notable for its short legs and the 2 large tusk-like teeth protruding from either side of its mouth, the Dicynodont Lystrosaurus is an herbivorous therapsid that existed during the late Permian and early Triassic periods, approximately 250 million years ago. In fact, at one stage, Lystrosaurus made up around 95% of all land vertebrates, having survived the Permian-Triassic extinction event that destroyed the majority of all life on Earth. Maiasaura's name translates to Good Mother Lizard, as it was the first dinosaur to show evidence of feeding hatchlings while they were still in the nest. Notable for having a bill rather than a snout or nose, Maiasaura was a large herbivore, growing up to 9 meters in length and weighing in excess of 900 kilograms, that fed on leaves, branches, ferns, and other plants. Majungasaurus is a carnivorous theropod from the late Cretaceous period and grew to around 9 meters in length. As the apex predator of its era, it used its sharp teeth and powerful bite to tear flesh from its targets, and is one of the few dinosaurs known to have eaten members of its own genera. although research has not confirmed whether this cannibalistic behavior took the form of hunting or scavenging on carcasses. Notable for its incredibly long neck, which can grow up to 11 meters, roughly half of its overall length, Mamenchisaurus is one of the largest sauropods to have existed. This herbivorous dinosaur feeds on plants and leaves, swallowing vegetation whole without the need for chewing. Mamenchisaurus's name derives from the place of its discovery, the Mamen Brook in Sichuan, China. Megalosaurus was one of the first non-flying dinosaurs ever to be discovered and lived around 155 to 170 million years ago. This carnivorous theropod's name translates to Great Lizard, an apt description for a dinosaur that grows up to 6 meters in length and can weigh about 700 kilograms. Megalosaurus's large size, powerful jaw, and serrated teeth made it the apex predator of its environment. Metriacanthosaurus is a genus of carnivorous theropod that existed during the late Jurassic period. Named after the spines on its vertebrae, the name translates to moderately spined lizard. Metriacanthosaurus can grow up to 8 meters in length and over a ton in weight, and preys on large herbivores. Despite its relatively large size, Metriacanthosaurus can reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Easily recognized thanks to its blunt beak and the small horn on its forehead, its name directly translates into English as small-horned. Microceratus is an herbivorous dinosaur that lived around 65 to 85 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. This genus walks on 2 legs and grows up to 80 centimeters in length, making it one of the smallest dinosaurs the world has seen. The herbivorous ankylosaurid minmi lived around 120 million years ago during the early Cretaceous period and can grow to a length of over 3 meters. Minmi is notable for its long tail and the horizontal armor plates that cover its body, protecting it from attacks by predators, while its legs are unusually long for a dinosaur from the Ankylosauria family, allowing it to run quickly. Named after the eye-catching crest on the front of its head, its name translates to single-crested lizard. Monolophosaurus is a carnivorous theropod that dates back to the mid-Jurassic period. This genus is a relative of the fearsome Allosaurus, but smaller in stature at approximately 5 meters in length and weighing from 450 kilograms to 680 kilograms. The Tyrannosauroid Moros intrepidus is a theropod from the late Cretaceous period. A full-size Moros intrepidus grows to a little under 1 meter tall, making it one of the smallest dinosaurs in the Tyrannosauroid family, only a fraction of the size of its more famous and far more fearsome relative, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Named after the location of its discovery, Mutabura in Queensland, Australia, Mutaburasaurus is a genus of herbivorous ornithopod notable for its flat skull and blunt snout. It can grow up to 9 meters in length and almost 3 tons in weight, while its strong jaws and serrated teeth allow it to tear leaves, branches, and shrubs with ease. Nasutoceratops is a genus of herbivorous dinosaur that existed in the southern United States during the late Cretaceous period. It could grow up to 7.6 meters in length and over 1.5 tons in weight, and the name Nasutoceratops translates to large-nosed, horned face, a reference to the 2 large horns protruding from its skull, similar to those of Triceratops, and its distinctive blunt snout. Nigersaurus is one of the smallest sauropods, at around 14 meters in length and 4 tons in weight. Its name refers to the location of its discovery, Niger in Africa, and this genus is notable for its teeth. Its jaws contain over 500 long, thin teeth that it uses to tear plants from the ground. These teeth are replaced more often than any other genus of dinosaur, around every 2 weeks. Notosaurus is a genus of herbivorous ankylosaurid, notable for the raised armor plates that cover its back. Its name translates to knobbed lizard. Adults can grow up to 5 meters in length and weigh in excess of 2 tons, consuming vast quantities of plants and shrubs every day. Its armor plates are essential for protecting Notosaurus from predators, as its short legs and heavy frame mean that it is unable to reach high speeds to escape. The herbivorous Olorotitan is a genus of hadrosaurid with a distinctive duck-billed snout and a striking crest on top of its head. And its name, which translates to Titanic Swan, is a reference to its long neck. It was one of the last dinosaurs to exist in the wild, dying out in the extinction event at the end of the Cretaceous period, and could grow up to 10 meters in length. Ouranosaurus is a large iguanodon, averaging around 7 meters in length and weighing around 2.5 tons, and is easily recognizable thanks to the large hump on its back. This herbivorous dinosaur is native to Niger in Africa and subsists on a diet of tough vegetation, using its horned beak and flat teeth to tear off and chew plants and leaves. The name Ouranosaurus means courageous monitor lizard. Oviraptor is an omnivorous dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Although its name translates to egg seizer, this is based on a misapprehension that has long since been rectified. Early specimens were often found near nests, suggesting that Oviraptor was inclined to eat the eggs of other dinosaurs. But experts now believe they were brooding the eggs until they hatched. Pachycephalosaurus is an herbivorous dinosaur that lived in North America during the late Cretaceous period. The name Pachycephalosaurus translates to thick-headed lizard, in reference to the genus large, thick skull that experts believe was used in intraspecies combat, with rival dinosaurs attacking each other when competing for territory. Growing up to 4.5 meters in length and weighing almost half a ton, Pachycephalosaurus is one of the largest pachycephalosaurid dinosaurs. Pachyrhinosaurus is an herbivorous dinosaur from the ceratopsid family, with strong teeth in its cheeks for breaking down tough vegetation. Its name comes from the unusual blunt shape of its snout. Pachyrhinosaurus translates to thick-nosed lizard, while this genus is identifiable by the array of adornments on its skull, including a frill and horns. Pachyrhinosaurus can grow up to 6 meters in length and weigh as much as 3 tons. Parasaurolophus is an herbivorous hadrosaurid native to North America and is famed for its unique head crest, which extends out from the back of its head. This distinctive crest gave the dinosaur its name, which translates to near-crested lizard. Parasaurolophus grows up to around 7.5 meters in length, and while it usually walks on 4 legs, it can rear up onto 2 legs if it needs to run or reach food in high places. Pentaceratops is a relative of the more famous Triceratops and bears a strong resemblance to its cousin, although, as the name, which translates to 5-horned face, suggests, it has 5 horns instead of 3. This genus can grow up to 7 meters in length and weighs in excess of 5 tons, and has an eye-catching frill protruding from the back of its skull that helps it to attract a mate. Polacanthus is a genus of herbivorous ankylosaurid that lived during the early Cretaceous period, around 125 million years ago. It can grow up to around 7 meters in length and is covered with armor plates and protruding spikes, which help it to protect itself from predators. In fact, these spikes are the basis for its name, which translates to many spines. The small theropod Proceratosaurus is a carnivorous dinosaur and is notable for the bold crest on its snout. Its name comes from the belief, upon its discovery, that the genus was related to Ceratosaurus. However, further research has found that it is in fact a cousin of Tyrannosaurus, albeit much smaller at around 4 meters in length. The predatory theropod Pyroraptor is a member of the Dromaeosauridae family that lived in Europe during the late Cretaceous period. Measuring around 2.4 meters in length, Pyroraptor relies on its impressive speed rather than power when stalking its prey, and prefers to hunt in packs, like its more famous cousin, Velociraptor. Its sharp claws help Pyroraptor to catch its prey, but are also used for climbing. A relative of the fearsome apex predator Tyrannosaurus Rex, Qianzhusaurus bears a resemblance to its more famous cousin, although it is significantly smaller, growing up to around 8 tons and over 10 meters from head to tail, and has a distinctive elongated snout. Although its jaw is less powerful than larger tyrannosaurids, its ability to run at speed makes Qianzhusaurus an efficient predator. Sauropelta is a genus of herbivorous dinosaur native to North America and is easily recognized thanks to the large spikes that extend from its neck. Due to its large size, weighing around 1.5 tons, Sauropelta cannot run at high speeds, so it relies on being able to defend itself from predators. As well as defensive spikes that can be used to repel attackers, it has thick armor covering most of its body, lending the genus its name, which translates to lizard shield. Scorpios rex is a hybrid dinosaur created by splicing the DNA of the scorpionfish, a deadly fish that secretes venom from its fins with a variety of carnivorous dinosaurs. The combination of power, intelligence, dexterity, and speed with such a powerful venom makes Scorpios rex one of the most fearsome dinosaurs ever to have existed. It can grow up to 8 meters in length and has rows of serrated teeth designed to tear through the flesh of its prey. The ceratopsian dinosaur Sinoceratops existed in China around 73 million years ago and is easily identifiable thanks to the large horn on its snout. This genus can grow up to 6 meters in length and weigh as much as 2 tons, while the eye-catching frill above its neck helps it to attract mates. The name Sinoceratops is derived from its appearance and its environment, translating to Chinese horned face. Spinoceratops, also commonly known as Sinospino, is an omnivorous hybrid that was created from the DNA of Sinoceratops and Spinosaurus. The genus appearance takes characteristics from both of its ancestors, featuring the pronounced horns of Sinoceratops and the sail of a Spinosaurus, resulting in its name, which translates to spined horned face. This genus can grow to in excess of 6 tons and more than 10 meters long. Stegosaurus is one of the smallest theropods from the Coelophysidae family, weighing between 10 and 15 pounds and growing to around 1 meter in length. Lightweight but with long, powerful legs, Stegosaurus is impressively agile and can run at rapid speed, a vital tool for escaping predators. The carnivorous theropod Sinosauropteryx is native to northeast China and dates back to the early Cretaceous period. This genus weighs a little over 5 pounds and grows to around 1 meter in length. It is a relative of Compsognathus, although, unlike its older cousin, it has feathers. In fact, it is the first known example of a non-avian dinosaur to display feathers and lead paleontologists towards the theory that modern-day birds evolved from dinosaur reptiles. Engineered at the Hammond Creation Lab by the world-famous geneticist Dr. Henry Wu, Spinosaurus is a large, aggressive carnivore. This genus combines the DNA of Spinosaurus and Velociraptor to create a ferocious predator, boasting the size and power of Spinosaurus with the speed and intelligence of Velociraptor. Spinoraptor takes its name, which translates to spined thief, from the large spiny sail on its back. Spinosaurus is a genus of carnivorous dinosaur native to North Africa and lived around 95 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. Its name translates to spine lizard, in reference to the long spines on its back vertebrae that form a sail, which researchers believe helps Spinosaurus to regulate its temperature. At around 18 meters in length and up to 4 tons in weight, Spinosaurus is one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs to have existed. Stegoceratops is a hybrid dinosaur designed by world-renowned geneticist Dr. Henry Wu and can grow up to 12 meters in length and 4 tons in weight. This genus is comprised primarily of the DNA of Stegosaurus and Triceratops, with 3 large horns on its head and solid plates that run the length of its spine. It also contains the DNA of a beetle, providing the genus with a thick, tough armor that protects it from predators. Stegosaurus is one of the most famous dinosaurs ever to have existed, thanks to the distinctive upright plates and spikes that adorn its back and tail. As Stegosaurus shared its habitat with many large predators, including Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus, it required a method of defending itself. The long spikes on its tail allow it to lash out at attackers, although the back plates are believed to be for display when attracting a mate. The name Struthiomimus means ostrich mimic and was given to the genus thanks to its similarity to a modern-day ostrich, thanks to its extended neck and long hind legs, although it is significantly bigger than an ostrich, at around 4 meters in length and weighing up to 150 kilograms. Struthiomimus is an herbivorous genus and feeds mainly on soft plants, as its jaw does not contain teeth. Stygimoloch is an herbivorous dinosaur from the Pachycephalosaur family that lived in the western United States around 65 to 68 million years ago. This genus can grow to over 3 meters in length and is easily recognizable thanks to the large bony horns on the back of its head, which it uses to defend itself from predators. Its name translates to Styx devil, a reference to the river that separates Earth and the underworld in Greek mythology. And the last, but not the least, measuring 5.1 meters in length and weighing almost 2 tons, Styracosaurus is a large herbivorous dinosaur that lived in the Cretaceous period. Styracosaurus is from the Ceratopsian family of dinosaurs, with a single horn protruding from its snout and a large neck frill featuring lengthy spines that give it its name, which translates into spiked lizard. Thank you for watching. We've just released all 96 terrestrial dinosaurs into Jurassic World Evolution 2, turning the park into total chaos. From mighty T-Rexes to swift raptors and towering brachiosaurs, every dinosaur is finally free to roam. I hope you enjoyed this wild experience. Now, I have a question for you. If you could have one dinosaur in your own Jurassic Park, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, And stay tuned for more epic dinosaur battles and experiments. See you in the next one.
amalgamation of the most fearsome, cunning, and dangerous. This spectacular amphitheater removes the reinforced barriers that separate man from dinosaur. Ladies and gentlemen, cast your eyes. Ability to conceal itself in
transportation complete.
history, a journey that mankind had never been able to embark upon before.
Ambient.